What if we used the TCG ban list, which has Max C banned? We just saw the World Championship where the first turn player had a 70 to 80% win rate. And also, we saw how powerful a card like Max C was. Well, maybe the TCG knows what they're doing with the TCG ban list, which I, of course, know under the context of they have newer cards, but we're not going to be messing with that. We're just going to go straight in with the TCG ban list. Maybe this could be some good feedback to Japan Konami, not TCG Konami, which is NA Konami, to maybe make our ban list more closer to the TCG or keep it as is, but still we want to ban the C. Yes? Begin.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
We'll start this off with Azamina Debtors, as we're going to send away the Slumber Morion to make our Risala go into our deck. No, we will not imperm negate. Now, with Max C banned and also Apollo banned, I suspect a card like Nibiru to be very powerful. Nibiru is almost in a way trying to accomplish the same thing as Maxi, punishing the opponent for overextending. And then without Apollo to negate or check the Nibiru, pretty much everyone should be playing this card, I would think, at 3. We're going to be searching for our Diablo Star as we ended on just a Risala Go, setting up our evenly matched, by the way. We do have Morion, which can flip a monster on the field face down. We also have Impulse. We have at least 2 forms of disruption. With the Toy Box, we're going to send the Toy Soldier to summon our Diablo Star, as the Toy Soldier, when sent to the grave from the back row, will now be trying to reborn, as the Call by the Grave will finger the Toy Soldier to negate, but we still have the play of Diablo Star. Diablo Star able to set up a starter card from the deck to start off our plays without even having to commit to our normal summon. How broken is that? As we Deception Sinful activate the tribute monster from the hand or field to search our deck for the Hallowed Azamina. Hallowed Azamina is going to attempt to fusion summon as the Impulse negates. Now, the Hallowed Azamina could add itself back to the hand. It has to target an Azamina monster you control or in the graveyard to shuffle it back in the deck. We are going to be summoning Sylvie, searching for the tails. Now, why did Morion flip down our own monster? Because this is an issue that happened last week. We forgot that the Morion can only flip down a special summon monster. It's just like Book of Moon, but actually not. So unfortunately, we flipped our own monster down. I think last week someone normal summoned a Lacrima Crimson Tear. We accidentally flipped down the Senjin instead when we wanted to deny them from summoning a Requiem. It happens all as well. Now, in the TCG, if we're abiding by the TCG ban list, what would have happened? A judge would have came over and said it's a legal activation if you tried to target a monster that wasn't special summoned. They wouldn't force you to flip your own monster face down. They would then allow the Morion to be flipped right back on the back row and be activatable later. Whether you like that ruling or not, it's quite funny that they are actually forced to ruin up their whole play by flipping their own monster instead. Begin. What? Set to pass. Okay, reveal an Azamina fusion. I guess this is a trap that fuses into an Azamina. It could summon a Sylvia. So we do have a form of disruption. And then a Super Poly, which can fuse up with their field. Double disrupt. Now, this would have been a good hand had we opened up any monster, a hand trap. Literally just anything to tribute off of the deception and then pop off from there. Now, what exactly are we going to go into? I think we're going to maybe wait to Super Poly. This could be a moment to Super Poly or not, or we could just wait for the sequence to go through, wait for them to go through their hard once return effects. Lacrima on summon is going to be reborning the Engraver. They now have 3 bodies. Maybe we have a triple body Super Poly. Very unlikely. Let's see. To battle we go. Are we going to do something? I guess technically they're not threatening lethal. Once the Lacrima goes to the grave, it's going to... And Gianna. This is banned. How is this playable? Hello? TCG ban list. Okay. That is not legal. That is banned. Huh. Well, it was the thought that counted. Now, a very important ruling of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is it's up to both players to maintain the correct game state and to uphold the ruling. So if Moy thinks it's legal and Giovanni thinks it's legal, then just for this duel, it's an accepted legal game state, I believe. And Apollo is also banned. Is this the right tournament, Gianna? What is this? Apollo's banned. Again, we're accepting the game state. This is a ban. We're in TCG ban list today. This was not just Maxi banned. This is the entire TCG ban list. What is this? Moy, why are you letting him have these banned cards? Okay, Rasala go. Let's go. Let's, Banned Apollo is going to negate. Now, Rasala go, it just wiped off a negate from the Apollo by reducing its attack and also just being able to take it out. We now follow up with the Azamina Determination. We are going to fusion summon into our Sylvia. Omni Negate is here. Could we have not done that in the battle phase for some extra damage, maybe? It does not look like it has to be used in the main phase. We have our Negate, we have our Super Polymate, we have the Determination, I guess fuse again. Sylvia, Negate, the Engraver, Call by the Grave, which, by the way, it's limited to 1 in the TCG, which means we're abiding by that, but with what we've seen so far, I would not be surprised if he has more than 1 finger. Let's Reborn back Engraver. As we now follow up Woes of the White Forest, someone from the deck, our Sylvie. Sylvie is going to be searching for our Scourge. Scourge is going to be using a Synchro to negate something as we fuse away their field with the Super Polymerization into our Moo Dragon. Let's Wedju Temple it up. Is this going to be good? The Determination? What can we do with this? Now, the Moo Dragon is a dual benefit where not only does it make your own monsters untargetable, it can make your opponent's monsters untargetable if part of their combos force them to target their own monsters, which I believe the Rusia says you have to target a White Forest. So if the White Forest is on field and it were a dark, it would be untargetable thanks to the Moo Dragon, which is of course not the case. Let's send a card from our hand, draw a card, come forth into the Rusilla. So this is where the Moo Dragon would want to declare light to potentially stop them from reborning if they wanted to make that play, but they could still target it Engrave as we summon the Elzette into the Diabel. Diabel plus the Elzette Azamina, search our deck, add back the Call by the Grave. This is technically a legal way to get our second finger, which is fine. As we're going to Sylvie, target the Engrave, reborn back, further synchro into our Baron de Flor. Banned, by the way, it is banned. That Apollo's banned, Baron de Flor's banned. This is a really illegal duel. I don't know what happened. Are you both still playing Max C? Did you just take Max C out? I don't understand. What happened here? What is this? What the? A really good way to ban list check can be to just import your deck into the Yu-Gi-Oh meta. So let's see that, for example, if you want to see what does a Malice deck look like if we were to ban it. Let's take the first place deck list of last week. I believe it's, here's a top 8 one. We'll grab this, we'll do share as YDK to clipboard. We'll go to Yu-Gi-Oh meta, and let's see how banned the deck is. We'll go to deck builder, let's import it, and let's see. See, Max C banned, Dormouse to 2, so let's take off Dormouse, let's take off Max C. The White Rabbits at 2. What else is good here? Gold Sark to 1, Call by the Grave to 1, Field Spell to 2. Let's look at the extra deck. Link Decoder, banned, Apollo banned. This is hopefully what most players did joining today's event. Exactly what I just did. Take your deck, import it, and then fix it from here. Probably no one did this. Maybe I should have showed them that this is a really cool way to do that. All right, let's hop into another duel. Begin. Well, Tenpai does not want to go first. What happened here? Sunshine with the Pot of E. E is limited to 1. I'm not sure what the restriction is in TCG as the Ash negates. If you do not care about your extra deck, this gives a lot of information to the opponent. If they use Pot of E, you know that they are a control strategy. No extra deck usage usually. Harpy, Feather Duster, wipe away that cross-out designate. We do have the Ghost Ogre. Now, will Ghost Ogre work against the Floowandereeze field spell? It does not work on the activation, but if it activates the effect while it's already face up, it's a great wipe, mate. And it looks like it does exactly that. We're gonna Ogre, wipe it away to, I thought we would do that, right? What are we saving Ogre for? Reveal, pop it, they don't get the additional summon. No, that's not good. Okay, Ogre's being saved for something else. We're gonna pop the Egglin. Now, Egglin has the effect of searching a big monster and also performing an additional normal summon, which you would then think, okay, they now can't summon their tribute. Well, If they have another small monster like the Stride, they can completely circumvent your Ogre. What its intended use was to stop them from summoning the Eglin, which obviously did not happen. We're gonna add the Rabina back. Eglin, Empin, I'm calling it Eglin. Empin is gonna be searching our deck for the trap. Now, anything in attack position that's special summoned cannot activate. Thus, Link monsters are completely countered. You could summon your Synchros in defense. We're gonna special summon defense just so the Magnum Hut can ensure it can activate. Now we're gonna non-target flip the field face down, and then the field spell and the trap have the ability to additionally normal summon during the opponent's turn. The field spell will only additional summon if the opponent normal summons. The trap will additionally summon whenever we want. We had the Ryza, which could bounce cards on the field or graveyard back into the deck. All right, Engraver is going to be searching our deck for the Fiendsmith track. This is a good check for Droll and Lockbird. We're going to track to add Lurie, Reborn the Lurie. I'm confused. Tenpai lost and then chose to go first because they are Fiendsmith Tenpai. Okay, all right. I guess that is what we are. We are correct in not playing the Fiendsmith Lacrima since it is banned. Engraver, Reborn. Aren't the restrictions on Tenpai and TCG quite heavy? I thought they were. Tenpai. Limit to 1 Chundra, limit to 1 Field Spell, limit to 1 Kaimin. It is limited to 1 in Master Duel, it is limited to 1 in Master Duel, it is limited to 1 in Master Duel. I guess it's pretty much the same hits as Master Duel and TCG, but they also now have Terraforming. Let's grab an Eglin off of the Jack in the hand as we're going to draw on Lockbird, which is a great silver bullet against Floowandereeze. They're very much weak to that. Now we're chaining another Droll because we're going to chain the effect to add from our deck before it resolves. And then we're going to chain to add from our deck again. You want me? On the resolution of adding, we could disallow them from adding. So we chain to add, then we stop them from adding, and then we chain to add again. Then we activate Ash to negate their add. You will not be adding from your deck. No. No more adding. Eglin on, and if you don't have the effect to add, you don't have the effect to additionally normal summon. So we summon and end. That's it. It's done. It's over. No search. Let's wipe away with Hydra. This is easy. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. 1 turn kill. Lethal damage here. Kaimin, grab the Chundra, summon for the deck, Fadra, and just like that, Tenpai defeating Floowandereeze for game number 2. The final duel. As, what does Floowandereeze want to do? They want to go first still, right? But the Tenpai player is choosing to also go first. They want to go first, but they're Tenpai, you know, obviously because of the Fiendsmith portion of their deck. In a way, they're just great going first or second. They are fine with whatever you choose. Let's see what happens for game number 3. Terraforming, searching our deck for our magnificent map, which is limited to 1 in Master Duel, which I believe is fully unlimited for Floowandereeze right here. Let's, with the map, and we also have the Floowandereeze Unexplored Winds. Reveal the Rabina, banish from the deck, then perform an additional normal summon. Rabina's going to search, Chainlink block the Ash Blossom, by the way. Ideally, we'll have a Chainlink block for Eglin if we have another card banished, which I don't think we do, but we do have Call by the Grave to finger the Ash Blossom. As we summon the Eglin, this is a great Ash. If you were to even save your Ash, you would rather Ash the Eglin than the Rabina, because the Rabina wants to search for Eglin. They could already have an Eglin in their hand. Negate. Finger the Ash Mate. Now from here, the Fool Loss obviously is dead, and we're playing with no side decks. You can't just side deck out your Fool Losses. You have to make the conscious decision of what card is good enough against the most popular decks with the chance of it being useless against others. Grab back the Rabina. This is also a chain link block, so you can't stop the search of that. Now, what are our forms of Disrupt? We have the most broken one in the entire game. Straight up for the entire turn, your monsters are negated. No matter where they are, where they activate, they will be negated. How do you even stop this outside of a red reboot? I think a Kaiju could stop this, right? Kaiju before they activate it. Now, they could try to activate this early, but generally they want to wait for the opponent to commit to a monster effect, and then you're going to be negated. Which could be right now. We can negate that. Yep, that's it. Negated for the full turn. It's over, right? Anything we do is negated, and I believe it's only the opponent, right? Yep. Of course, it's only the opponent. Are you out of your mind? Why would they balance this card to be a two-way negate? Man, it's a Harpy card. Harpy sucks, so they had to make it better than normal. Let's Rabina, add back, and search. Eglin, search for the Apex Avian. We're going to be tributing off the Lurie with the Floowandereeze Unexplored Winds. Technically, it's not a tribute, as we have the Avian ready to now Omni-negate any potential play mate. Let's finish off this duel. Well, Konami, what do you think? Do you want to now unban the Floowandereeze map? Does the chat want this unbanned? Does YouTube want this unbanned? Was this a good showcase that Floowandereeze can in fact come back and they're not that big of a deal? Or this is really nasty? I think most people are decidingly saying no. Keep Floowandereeze limited. We don't want that back. Let's keep on going. Now, believe it or not, Blue Eyes is better in the TCG because there are no hits. Am I right on this? Sage is not semi-limited. Maiden is not semi-limited. So they are fully unleashed. Full power Blue Eyes versus full power Floowandereeze. We have Dominus Purge is not negating the card, but negating the effect. Thus, using the Swallow Cowrie is not dodging the negate of stopping them from searching their deck mate. And by stopping the search, you also stop the additional normal summon. Now we need an additional card for that additional summon. We do have the Call by the Grave, which is no good, unfortunately. Wow. Sunshine passing on just a Rabina with no play. I believe Floowandereeze are mostly known for bricking. That is, of course, only when you play the deck yourself and your opponent never bricks. We're going to load, search for our Drill Beam with the ability to negate any card in the field. We cannot negate yet until we have a normal monster on field or a normal in hand. We're going to, with the Spirit with Eyes of Blue, activate the Mausoleum here, send a Blue Eyes from the deck to the grave, and now the Drill Beam is activatable to banish anything. Additional summon, the Sage. I guess maybe we could have tried to YOLO, Call by the Grave, finger the Blue Eyes on the Spirit with Eyes of Blue activation. We're going to finger the Maiden instead, but we know they search for a Drill Beam, which would be activatable if Blue Eyes hits the field, so our only option was to really finger the Blue Eyes, but we probably would still lose. It's okay, let's hop into game two. Hold on second. Ooh, we got the Ash, Imperm, Veiler. They should have ways to chain link block the Ash and ways to dodge the Imperm and Veiler. Do we have those ways? Eglin, Veiler. Can we dodge the Veiler? We would have the Adventurer quick play, the Cowrie quick play. We have neither. Thus, we're in big trouble. Now, the Dreaming Town can allow us to summon during the opponent's turn. We're going to Ash negate the thrust from setting a trap from the deck, which of course would be the Harpy Duster, the Harpy trap that negates monsters for the full turn, which would completely turn off their turn, as we now have the ability to... What is this even, though, right? Ideally, we would have access to an Eglin, but we don't. So if we activate the trap to additionally normal summon, the best we could do is banish a card from their grave. Banish Maiden, I guess? And after banishing Maiden, is that even going to be that great? Now, let's think about how the ruling would actually be. How long can you wait on banishing Maiden? I activate Roar to summon a Blue Eyes and a Maiden's Engrave. Can I chain the Floowandereeze Dreaming Town to ensure that I will banish the Maiden before it gets on the field? Well, Chainlink 1 Roar, Chainlink 2 Dream, you summon the Stry, and then they activate on a new Chainlink. The turn player would be the Maiden on Chainlink 1. Stry would be on Chainlink 2 to banish away the Maiden. So we can wait for the very moment that they are activating an effect that would get a Blue Eyes on the field. Let's set up the True Lights. Set a Wishes into the back row. Wishes, let's get rid of our Rabina from our hand, searching for a Majesty and a Sage with Eyes of Blue. So we want to wait for the Spirits or the Roar to then flip up the Dreaming Town to summon the Stry. If we do it early, then it's not going to be on the same chain. So this is when we would activate it, right now. Chain 2 Summon, Chain 1 Blue Eyes, Chain 1 Maiden, Chain 2 Stry Banish. He knows. Of course he knows. Stry, Summon. Blue Eyes, Summon. Turn player, optional trigger, activate. Non-turn player, optional trigger, banishing his own card. What? Why? What? What the? Why? Wait, this is pretty interesting, actually. This is pretty big brain, right? You're going to add back the Rabina additional... No, it doesn't work. Wait, okay, it does if you have to activate this on the higher chain link now. This has to add it back. The toucan has to be the higher chain link to add it back, and then you could additional summon the Rabina, which could search for an Eglin, which could then search for... This does work. This works. This is great. Good play. I doubted you. I was too focused on banishing the Maiden when this is in fact better. Yup, this is better. This is great. Rabina, Eglin into a tribute summon. Good job. Holy moly, we're gonna flip the whole field face down. Beautifully done. Yup. So I guess this is a good lesson of don't get too focused on what's a good play. There could also just be a better play. And also don't focus on looking too cool because it is too exciting to banish the Maiden on the higher chain link, but this definitely was better. Woo! Full field flippage. All non-link monsters are negated on the field. Summon that are not in defense. Correction, I'm mixing with Baguska. All link monsters and anything in attack position are negated. Now, while you will not be activatable, you still have the continuous effect of attacking everything. Oh my gosh. What the hell? What the... Yeah. You're not negated. You just can't activate. You still have the effect. So forgive me on the confusion with mixing up Baguska and the M-Pin. Well, even with that great play, we still lost somehow. Damn. 2-0 victory. Let's go.